Woodchuck groundhog. Contrary to legend, the woodchuck or groundhog does not emerge from its burrow on February 2nd to look for its shadow or anything else. Instead, this stocky rodent usually hibernates in its burrow, an extensive system of tunnels, chambers, and multiple entrances, until late winter. Soon after emerging, male woodchucks battle one another, using their teeth as weapons, and then seek out the females. The young are born 4 weeks after mating. Although blind, hairless, and extremely small at birth, they are ready for sorties outside the burrow within a month. Adults are frequently seen sunbathing atop the entrance mound, sitting upright on guard for predators, or waddling along as they stuff themselves with clover, alfalfa, and other plants. Yellow-bellied marmot. Unlike the woodchuck, the yellow-bellied marmot is a social animal, living in colonies of several dozen individuals. Often one marmot seems to be doing sentry duty, while others in the colony graze in the alpine meadows. At the approach of danger, an eagle, for example, the sentry whistles sharply, causing marmots within earshot to scamper toward their burrows. Burrow entrances are usually located beneath rocks, so this large rodent is also known as the rock chuck. A second species, the larger gray hoary marmot, lives at higher elevations and is found farther to the north. Both species hibernate for more than half the year. Rock chucks may also become torpid and remain underground in hot weather. Pika. The pika or coney harvests a variety of plants during a short mountain summer, stacks them in piles to cure in the sun, and eventually moves the hay to sheltered sites among the rocks. Between forays, the little mammal dozes in the sunshine, nearly invisible as it sits hunched on a rock. Although the pika looks like a rodent, it is technically a cousin of rabbits and hares. It remains active all winter, as do its relatives, but only the pika stores hay for winter use. Much more vocal than rabbits and hares, the pika communicates with others of its kind by sharp nasal bleats and is occasionally called the whistling or piping hare. It is something of a ventriloquist, a skill to keep in mind when trying to locate the animal by its calls. Black-tailed jackrabbit. The black-tailed jackrabbit is superbly adapted to life in open places, relying on its speed to flee coyotes and other predators. It can leap across distances of up to 20 feet and cover the ground at 30 to 35 miles an hour. During the day, it rests in slight depressions called forms beneath shrubs, beside rocks, or in long grass. Its long ears act as antennas and air conditioners, picking up sound and dissipating body heat. The white-tailed jackrabbit is similar in appearance but turns white in winter. The antelope jackrabbit, found mainly in Mexico, has even larger ears. All jackrabbits are technically hares, not rabbits. Snowshoe hare. Twice a year, this whiskered mammal, also called the varying hare, changes its coat. Beginning in September, the brown summer coat is gradually replaced by white-tipped hairs, a process lasting up to 3 months. The reverse process begins in March. The name snowshoe hare reflects another seasonal change. In autumn, the animal develops dense fur pads on its feet. The pads supply insulation and enhance mobility in snow. Diet also changes with the seasons. When green plants are no longer available, the hare feeds on twigs and buds, leaving a characteristic slanted cut on the severed end of the branch. Like other hares or rabbits, it rests in thick cover during the day. Camouflaged by its color, it may reveal its whereabouts only by its tracks. Eastern cottontail. This rabbit flourishes almost everywhere east of the Rocky Mountains. Other kinds of cottontails occur in the west. Cats, foxes, hawks, and owls help to keep its numbers under some control. Human hunters also take a heavy toll. But the rabbit's legendary fecundity means that the population is constantly being renewed. Each year, a female cottontail produces several litters, each with up to 7 young, and rabbits born in early spring may breed that very summer. Rabbits bear naked blind young. Hares, including the jackrabbits, are born furred and with their eyes open. Another difference is their gait. Rabbits have shorter legs and are better suited for running. Raccoon. Equally at home in suburban, rural, and forested areas, the wily raccoon is unperturbed by the presence of man. Having learned to pry the lids from garbage cans, it makes regular nightly raids in certain locales and will eat almost any type of food, including nuts, berries, grains, bird eggs, carrion rodents, insects, and crayfish. According to a popular myth, raccoons wash everything they eat. Though in captivity they often dunk their food, this behavior is not related to cleanliness. Instead, it is believed to reflect their natural habit of finding food and water. Raccoons mate in late winter and give birth to litters, averaging 4 young in spring. Mother and young remain together during their first winter. Raccoons do not hibernate, but may be inactive for long periods during cold weather. Ringtail. The 2-pound ringtail.
They look like polka dot stripes.
They're skunks, though.
Yeah.
They have cute little noses.
The 2-pound ringtail, smaller and more lithe than the raccoon, is most at home in woody and rocky areas of the southwestern states. This nocturnal hunter usually pounces from ambush and kills its prey, mainly birds and small mammals, with a bite on the neck. It was formerly kept in mines to control the rodent population, hence the alternative name of miner's cat. Ringtails are agile climbers and use their tails for balance. During the day, they sometimes sleep high in trees, invisible except for their long dangling tails. In the southern part of their range, they are known as caecomissals, a name derived from Indian words for half and mountain lion. Badger, a tough and tenacious fighter. This heavy-bodied member of the weasel family has scent glands that emit a strong odor and long front claws capable of tearing flesh. The badger is a remarkable burrower that can rapidly dig out of sight when danger threatens. Large holes dug as it pursues rodents are more likely to be seen than the animal itself, which is active mainly at night. Badgers are usually solitary, except in late summer during their breeding season, though the word badger has come to mean annoy. This does not stem from the animal's scrappy disposition. Instead, it comes from badger baiting, a former sport in which the European species was tormented by dogs. Spotted skunk.
To read that right.
I'm going to read this one. The spotted skunk's warning is a handstand. The animal puts its weight on its front feet, raises its hindquarters into the air, and aims the openings of its scent glands at the source of provocation. The spray is even sharper and more acrid than the striped skunks. It eats the same type of food, but depends more on mammals, especially mice and rats, than its larger relative. The diets have both changed with the seasons. A study of spotted skunks in Iowa found mammals to be the most important winter food. The proportion of insects increased in spring and summer, and fruits were eaten mainly in the fall. Striped skunk. When provoked, the striped skunk arches its back, raises its tail, stamps its front feet, and shuffles backward. If the warning is not heeded, the animal ejects a fine spray of acrid blinding fluid from its anal glands. As a result, few animals other than large owls prey on skunks. The striped skunk ambles about at dusk and after nightfall in search of animal and plant food. It is especially fond of grasshoppers, ground beetles, and even bees, excavating their nests and eating the larvae. It becomes fat in autumn and spends the winter in a den, emerging in warm weather to forage. Wolverine. This animal goes by a variety of names. As one skunk bear suggests, it looks like a cross between a skunk and a bear. It is actually a member of the weasel family, as are the skunks. The name Wolverine probably stems from its predatory nature. For an animal of its size, the wolverine is exceptionally strong. Under certain circumstances, it can kill animals as large as a deer. It is a slow plodder, but can cover long distances through the snow. Also called the Indian devil, it raids traps and food caches and is a nuisance to trappers. It eats not only mammals but also fish berries and carcasses left by other predators. Not surprisingly, another of the wolverine's name is Glutton. Marten. Usually a nighttime hunter, this arboreal weasel is occasionally seen during the day as it leaps and runs along branches in pursuit of squirrels. It also feeds on other small mammals, birds, insects, and berries. Martens are solitary. The males are quarrelsome and associate with females only in summer during the mating season. Young martens are not born until spring. Though this period of gestation may seem exceptionally long, the embryos do not develop throughout the entire time. Instead, they undergo a spurt of growth only during the month before birth. This phenomenon, called delayed implantation, occurs in other mammals including the nine-banded armadillo, black bear, and fisher, a large all-dark relative of the marten. Ermine. This ferocious little carnivore, also called the short-tailed weasel, is quick and agile, with a slender, almost serpentine body. It can easily move through small burrows in nocturnal pursuit of rodents. It also climbs well and chases squirrels and chipmunks into trees, usually killing them with a bite in the neck. Often the ermine does not immediately eat all that it kills, but returns to the carcass for several meals. Twice a year in spring and fall, the ermine changes color dramatically. The white winter pelts are luxury furs, usually obtained for animals trapped in Europe, Asia, and Canada. Long-tailed weasel. Though larger and more powerful than the ermine, the long-tailed weasel feeds primarily on the same type of prey. It also hunts birds, especially ground nesters, and can cause considerable damage in a chicken coop. It benefits man, however, by killing rats and mice in fields and barns. Like the ermine, this weasel changes color twice a year, except in the southern part of its range. Molting occurs during a period of about 4 weeks, and the gradual nature of the process explains the part white, part brown individuals that are sometimes encountered. Molts are triggered mainly by changes in day length, though temperature also plays a role. Mink. Mink never live far from water. They are excellent swimmers and prey on both aquatic and terrestrial animals, including muskrats, fishes, rabbits, and snakes. The males are larger than the females and have a more extensive hunting range. Mink are fierce and seemingly fearless fighters that scream, spit, hiss, and like other members of the weasel family, including skunks, emit a pungent odor when provoked. Adults are usually solitary except in the breeding season. Mating occurs in winter. Both sexes are polygamous, and litters of 2 to 10 kits are born in spring. By early summer, the young follow their mother on hunting forays. By autumn, they are able to fend for themselves. Though some mink are still being trapped, ranch-raised individuals supply most of the commercial market. River otter. Otters truly seem to enjoy life. These sociable animals wrestle, play tag, slide down muddy or snowy riverbanks, and roll about in grasses and reeds. They express themselves vocally through chirps, whistles, growls, and screams. Although male and female stay together for part of the year, the female drives her mate away before giving birth to a litter or 2 or 3 young in early spring. Blind at birth but fully furred, the young grow slowly and do not venture out of the den, a hollow log or beaver or muskrat burrow, until they are 10 to 12 weeks old. Then the mother begins teaching them to swim, dive, and hunt. aided by the father after the young are about 6 months old. Though otters are mainly fish eaters, they also feed on frogs, crayfish, and other small animals. Their streamlined bodies, webbed toes, and eyes and ears can be closed underwater, make them well adapted to an aquatic life.